Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for part two of the three-part series of Ganas, which is Growing America's Negocios through Access and Scale program. This initiative started a few years ago with the purpose to help save, train, and scale America's small and Hispanic-owned businesses during the pandemic. So Ganas is a three-part series, and it's dedicated to empowering small businesses through a customized program. And I'm so glad to see many familiar faces, and thank you who joined us last week for part one. And this program could not be possible without the strong partnership that we have with the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, USHCC, and Wells Fargo. The LA Latino Chamber is grateful for this partnership in order to help your business here in LA County and in surrounding communities. But first and foremost, I'd like to kind of go off script here, congratulate our chairman, Daryl Salceda, for his anniversary for his chairmanship here at the Chamber. Through his dedication and vision and a great group of board of directors and corporate advisory boards and team, the Chamber has been resilient through the closing of our most businesses through COVID-19 and all the way to be awarded Chamber of the Year, both on the national level and on the state level. He's not only overseeing the Chamber, but he and his wife, Anna Salceda, who's on the program with us today, grateful for their dedication to the Chamber and the commitment to small businesses. So congratulations, Mr. Chairman, on your anniversary.
Thank you.
Today's topic is LISTO, the procurement portal powered by the LA Latino Chamber, certification, Ganas, and Gate of the Game. So why is this so relevant? As you all know, Los Angeles will be the pinnacle of World Games in the next couple of years, and businesses need to be ready. The LA Latino Chamber wants to ensure that we get a piece of those businesses that are coming through as well as contracts. So if your business is not aware of these opportunities, you could look at the LALCC Resource Center, which we have on our website, so that you don't miss the boat. And later in the program, I'm going to share more about Ganas, this program, and what it entails, as well as talk about what Gate in the Game is and how it works and how you can benefit from it. So at this point, before we start, we ask you to mute yourselves. Mr. Chairman, will this be an interactive session, or can we have questions answered at the end of each topic?
Yeah, I think that there's three categories that I wanted to cover,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like the participants to participate when there's
Okay.
questions to be asked. And I think that, let's just make it more of a personal chat.
All right.
I don't want it to be traditional type of, I'm just gonna say stuff and we're gonna move on. I want to hear what our members are thinking. So anyways, so we'll start out with procurement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Procurement, what is it, right? And why is it important? I believe that procurement is important to all businesses because you're forecasting or you're looking ahead to build your pipeline of opportunities. It's going to help your business stay in business, right? So I've always said, being in the business development world for 4 decades is understand your customer. Not everybody is your customer. So, we're going to talk about private, public opportunities. We're going to talk about, what does it take to become a contractor or to get opportunities through a public or a private entity, right? So anything that is requiring any type of funding from a taxpayer, whether it be state or schools or any of those opportunities, most of those opportunities, you either have to be a union shop or you have to be willing to sign a PLA agreement, which means it's a project labor agreement with the unions. So that's our first topic of what is procurement, right? So I'll stop right there for a minute. I know that, I said a few bullet points. Are there any questions on procurement? If not, we'll move on to class certifications. So we're going to talk next about certification. Why is this so important for you to have a certification, right? So again, as I shared in the procurement bullet point, What is it, what does certification mean to all of us on this webinar? Most of us are thinking, well, small business, well, veteran owned, well, LGBTQ, on and on and on, right? Well, not always. Depends on again, on where you're fishing and what type of opportunities you're looking for. A certification, you know, could require you to have a ISN number. You could have to have maybe a bond number, depending on where you're looking to create opportunities, again, procurement opportunities for your business. That would be what type of certifications do you need? So it's not just people are always talking about, well, you needed, Department of General Services certification. Okay, so what does that mean though? What does that mean for you when you're trying to create a forecast or a look ahead for your business? Because ultimately, if you want to stay in business, you got to look ahead. I think I was talking to JJ, and he's looking for new fish in the ocean to bring to his business or his client, right? So at that point, he shared with me he's working in Metro and other entities in there, and we were going back and forth and trying to understand his business model. So again, small business projects that are funded by taxpayer dollars all have business goals. So again, certification of your business, whether it's small, women-owned, depending on where you're going, is going to depend on what other certifications are you going to need, such as Department of General Services certification. They only have two certifications, small business and veteran-owned, right? But after you get that certification, what else do you need to be successful to get opportunities from that entity, right? So are there any questions on certifications? None. Okay, so moving along.
I have a question. This
Sure.
is Desiree. So do you recommend that we get as many certifications as we can, or is that too much, or what do you recommend?
Again, you know what? That's a great question. So, everybody, a lot of people think, well, I need to have all these certifications. Well, the thing is the Department of General Services certification covers multiple entities, right? You can work for LA County with that certification. You could work for, I believe Metro will accept it as well. There's a lot of entities now that will accept the Department of General Services certification. But along with that certification, depending on what you're trying to do, a big deal right now is safety. Safety is not good enough just to have a great mod rate that's going to give you the edge to get a contract. Now they have this other third party called the ISN, and the ISN is another company that goes through your mod rates, which is the mod rate is your workman's comp rate. So if you have accidents or if you have unsafe job sites or the way you do business, then that would do is it would put a mark against your company, and the odds of you getting an opportunity to work for this entity is going to probably be not so good. So an ISN number is what I have. A lot of our businesses have an ISN number, and when you present that number, the companies is going to hire you will add an extra point or two saying, well, you're a safe company, we want to hire you. So your question was, is it good to have a lot of certifications? I would figure out what's my best bet. Where do I want to work? Do I want to work in government, transportation, utilities, private sector, project or property management? Depending on where you're trying to create an opportunity would be what certifications you need, and we could help you with that if it comes to it.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have another question. When did you go, for example, to small business certification and you select the services that you provide. It is possible to add services after the fact?
It is. Any other questions? I know I'll move pretty quick here. So in all that being said, and as when we were on having a conversation with Cynthia Amador, knowing that we have been in this chamber environment for quite some time, we're always thinking, how could we create a opportunity, or how can we create a platform where we get vetted businesses ready and willing to take advantage of contracting opportunities. So about a year and a half ago, we met with the guy that did a URL that created our own frame. And what we did is we created this thing called LISTO, right? So LISTO is a boutique portal that when you become a chamber member, what we do is we ask you to enroll and create your statement of qualifications. And what we do is we have a committee that will vet you. And once you are vetted and in the portal, what happens is the chambers now will start identifying opportunities to give that business owner, right? So in a nutshell, what LISTO's doing is has become a clearinghouse. Nothing new. There was an organization called Latin Business Association. They had an institute about 20 years ago that was created by Richard Amador and Hector Barreto, and some of the senior groups that it was an idea that they had created with a bunch of corporate entities. And we were saying, if you have an opportunity, send it to us, and what we'll do is we'll send it to our membership to see if it's a fit. They call that matchmaking now. Back in the days when we would get an opportunity hot off the press, those of you remember fax machines, when a fax machine was on a roll of paper, and it would come in a roll of paper, and we would go down and we would figure out, what this opportunity was, and then we would get on the phone and call a business to see who's available to take advantage of this opportunity. So LISTO has become a network of business owners that we call business to business and beyond. What does that mean? So much like I was on this call earlier asking Cynthia if she knew of any labor attorneys, right? So this is how business to business operates. Every one of us on this webinar right now understands that today you're going to buy something, or today you have a need, and we want our members to be to utilize LISTO and to utilize the chamber as a resource for you. So when you have an opportunity available, you would call the chamber, says, hey, guess what? I'm looking to buy a new fax machine. So then you would, get a hold of the chamber, and then we would send you the list of members that they could meet the needs, or, have services that you need, right? So that's what we're trying to implement in this business to business and beyond. So what does the beyond mean? The beyond means that any company that's looking for mentoring or wanted to elevate, to create, to move from a tier 2 to a tier 1, we have contracts available that would help these businesses move into a different space. So much like at our expo, we wrote letters of intent that turned into contracts 3 weeks later. We wrote over $2 million of opportunities. This month alone, we were able to create over $800,000 of contracting opportunities. So these are real contracts. These are people that are working today on different job sites, from the Imperial Valley to the Inland Empire to Bakersfield. So we have now, because of the legislation that passed through AB 1392, we're now trying to get a deal with some of the hospitals to create opportunities for cleaning services, catering services, a multiple of things that the chamber's looking for that would best fit our membership. And why do I say that? Because understanding our membership, we know where to fish. It doesn't do me any good to look to bring up opportunities to build bridges. I don't know anybody that builds bridges that's in our membership, right? And that's why it's so important that when you become a member and you register in LISTO, and when you become a vetted member, this portal, that it's important that every business there is going to be able to be successful. Because as in the 40 years that I've been in this business development world and understanding SBA to utilities to schools, small businesses already have a bad reputation of not being able to perform, right? So the LISTO was created so that people will identify, minority business, small businesses as a vital part of what they need to do. But as we explore, most of these companies are saying, well, I don't know anybody that a small business that could deliver. And I always say as well, you're dealing with a major prime. Who do you think is doing all the work if it's not small business? So in having that discussion and understanding business development, that's how LISTO was created. And I think that, everybody should really get on our website, take a look at it to see how that might fit your company and to see how, how we could be of service to you as an organization. So any questions on LISTO?
No, Mr. Chairman, but if I may add, I know that some people are hesitant to get onto another portal because there's so many portals out there. You did share the importance of our portal, LISTO, and how, can you share how the meaning of why we did it? We talked about the 300 in the past, internal conversations, but why did the chamber create a portal, and why should people be on our portal as opposed to others?
Okay, that's a good question. So this is, as Olivia shared, this vision was to have 300 vetted companies. Unlike RAMP and 1LA, where they have tens of thousands of individuals that register, the state has a portal, the hospitals have portals, and all of them have thousands and thousands of businesses that are in there. I'm not sure if they're vetted, I'm not sure who they are, but the reason that LISTO is being successful right now is because, LISTO has a small group of vetted businesses. So just think about it. If you're one of the 300, I mean, if you're playing the lottery, it's 1 in 200 million, you're going to win $1. In LISTO, it's 1 of 300. I mean, we're not looking to grow this portal to thousands. I think that $300 businesses to provide contracted opportunities, I mean, that would be a big win if we could do 10, right? But 300 is the mark, and we feel that with what's happening in LA 28, and Olivia will share more about it at Get in the Game and some of the other entities that we are working with under the chamber. And I'm really, I know I spoke about procurement, right? Because I know that forecasting and looking to find or identify opportunities has to be your business model to, for you to stay in business, right? But, procurement to me is like a pie in the sky sometimes. It's like I'm bidding, maybe I get it, maybe I don't, so I believe that being a part of a group of business to businesses that share opportunities with each other, that you will be more successful. That if you have a service that's needed, like cleaning services. Everybody needs their offices clean. Why would we not do business with each other? You know, I'm in the development business. I'm a general contractor. Always looking for somebody. I need somebody to do some high pressure pipeline right now. We're building baseball fields. We're building art walks. We're doing pickleball courts. We're doing maintenance facility centers, splash pads, all different type of stuff. So I'm always looking for somebody to do everything, providers, suppliers, contractors. Even after we finish the buildings, we need somebody to clean them and to get them ready for the ribbon cutting. So, you know, LISTO is a tool that should be taken advantage of if you have the opportunity. It's really is a pretty amazing portal.
Yeah. So, Mr. Chairman, we do have a little bit of time. Would it be possible for Carlos to share how easy Listo is?
Sure.
It's not a really complex portal. It's fairly simple because you really want to just get to the nuts and bolts of opportunities available and how easy it is to kind of sign up. Carlos, is it possible for you to share your screen? So Carlos Casas is part of the chamber team, so he helps me out on the back end of a lot of these webinars, and he's very instrumental to the chamber. So if you don't know Carlos, now you do.
Okay, hello everyone. Yes, I'll go ahead and pull it up from start to finish just so you can see. Okay, so you'll start off here at our central website. So it'll be lalcc.org. And this is kind of where we have all of our information, but in specific for you, here, this tab here, you'll just select Listo. And then that takes you on.
But you may want to go to the resource tab and look at Listo before you go there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So under our resources tab, there's a bunch of different items. So if you want to look into Listo, you'll hit Listo. And then this is kind of gives you a little bit more information about Listo, kind of what it entails. And you can take a look at this at your leisure. So this is here.
If you want to stop real quickly, so in Listo, and Mr. Chairman, just jump in. So we have like Beyond Connections. So we have resources for connections to capital, support and other resources, meaning other suppliers. One of the features of Listo is that it's AI enhanced. So as you're putting in your information, it'll help you create an AI generated capability statement that you can download and use, not just for not for our opportunities, but for others. And then if you want to scroll a little bit to the top, right there. So some of the key features as tailored procurement opportunities, and those opportunities are entered by Carlos. So as soon as we get them, we can email them to everyone who is on the portal, whether it's up, whether the opportunity fits you or not, you're still going to get it because that way you're in tune as to what opportunities are there. Or you may know of someone that you can refer to be on the portal. And if they get vetted, they also could see these opportunities there. We also have a workforce. I know workforce is really relevant for all of us.
Carlos, can you open up Listo? And Listo, the business to business is the one that I'm excited about, but the Listo portal will handle pretty much all your needs from, workforce. Who can I call if I'm in a pinch? I need workforce. I need a small business loan. We have, when you open up Listo, Carlos, and go to some of the tabs we have in there. I mean, Listo is a really good resource. We have, not only do we have, things that the Listo offers you, but we have points of contact, emails of people you can call directly, or if you're looking for assistance in packaging a loan to get some unsecured money from one of our banking partners. So let's go to workforce.
Okay, so here's workforce.
So if you find yourself in need of temp staffing or workforce, these are three of our partners here: Apple One, BPSI, and Medica Talent. So Medica Talent is more into the medical nursing type of RN staffing service. BBSI is not only a PEO, which most businesses should be using them as their HR department, but they also have temporary staff, and Apple One has temporary staff. So let's go to connection to capital. So connection to capital, scroll down. So connection to capital is, what are you looking for? Alternative financing, credit lines, unsecured and secured, commercial financing, development, funding, equipment financing. So as you scroll down, click any one of them to see. Let's go to SBA. Who is hit that one? I was just connect now. So you go to connect now. So there's 3 different opportunities there: US Bank, Bank of America, JP Morgan. Okay, so the business to business, this what it is this is a thing you fill out, and you put all your information in there and look to see if you want to speak or talk to somebody about what you need or what you have to offer. And so you would fill this out, says, we'll be advertising opportunities on a weekly basis or as we need them for information. So this is something that you want to take a look at to see if maybe you fit what is needed by another business or one of the chamber partners.
May I ask a question real quickly?
Sure.
So if, for example, I'm a business and I do flooring. So if I have a project and because I don't have sufficient staff or the project is just too big and my company can't handle it, and I'm looking for a partner to go in with me on the contract, can I put my opportunity on this portal, or can the vetted members put their opportunities?
I think the way it works right now, I think is you get a hold of Carlos, and Carlos will put that opportunity on the business to business connection. Carlos, right?
Yes.
That's the way it works. Okay, because if they're a member on B2B, they're not able to upload the opportunity, are they? No.
If you do have an opportunity, you can post it on here.
Okay.
However, it's going to go to us in the back end, and then we'll review it. And if it's approved, then it'll show for everyone. But
Okay.
you are able to upload your own. It's just that it won't automatically go onto the portal.
Okay.
And the reason we're asking these questions is because it's brand new. This was launched 3 months ago, and we're working on a little bit of the bugs, but it's been an amazing tool for a lot of businesses already. So let's move on to the next tab, Carlos, where you enroll your company. Is that accounts?
Yes, it's under accounts. So
Okay.
once you go through the process, it just asks you basic information, your name, your email, you create your own password, and
Right.
then when you log on to it, you'll add your business here. You'll go to your account and you'll add my business here.
Right.
And then this is just a sample business, but pretty much here, I'll just go to edit so you can see the 4 steps that you go through. So these are the 4 steps that you go through. And basically when you're done with this, it's going to build a capability statement for you, which you can download and use for your own marketing of your own company. And then it also creates a criteria that we'll look at to vet your business.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to help elevate the company so that, we're talking apples to apples. I mean, everybody knows that, in different genres or different spaces, they speak a different language. So I was a chairman of the board of DEO, Workforce Development Board, and they have different acronyms, different terminologies. As you go, I was working for the federal government for 19 years. Their acronyms, the way they do business is totally different from utilities and private sector and et cetera. Once that creates the narrative for yourself or your capability statement, review it and make sure that it's, that it's being truthful, right? I don't want to use the word embellish too much, but make it as truthful to you as possible before you click and make that your capability statement. I will make sure that I reiterate that. Okay. So moving along, does anybody have any questions about LISTO? I know I see some things flagging up on how to get on LISTO.
Yeah, so let me look at the questions real quickly. Because I saw one.
Olivia, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
I can
we
hear
can
you.
hear
You know what I also wanted to share with everyone on is I think one of the greatest resources you have here is the vetting process, because in that time, everything you do, you're not in this alone. The pre-vetting places, as Daryl and Olivia are sharing, it's a time for us to take some of the subject matter experts that are on the vetting committee to say, what would I look for in this? And maybe you're missing something. So before it even goes out to the masses, or we make sure that you're a part of a business opportunity, we're going to say, maybe you want to think about this. And not only that, we want to share the fact is, are you realizing that you need to maybe ensure that you have not only a capability, but you have to have the proper insurance. You know, you've got to make sure that with this contract, you're going to need to up your game in regards to the workforce. So then there's other levels of resources. But to me, that vetting time is so important because we are in this together. We're your partners. So don't think that any of your answers are wrong. They probably just need to be, you know, expanded on, as Daryl said, because we're gonna look at it from the minds of those who give contracts, right? You're asking for the contracts, but their perspective is a little different. So together, that's why this is going to work. Or is working,
Mr.
right?
Chairman, if I can also add, this is Ina Alcrest. One of the things, I've gone to a couple different conferences and they've been really talking about, and you've talked about sort of, you know, you're this tier 2 company and you want to grow. This is a great way for you to maybe look at a company that really complements what you do or augments, and maybe together you guys can compete for something that you wouldn't have been able on your own. I love the vetting process that Anna just talked about, as well as the mentoring. I think that that's something that I think business owners really need to be looking at when they're looking for partners and who's the right partner. And obviously the Latino Chamber has been a great partner, so I would highly recommend people to get on board if they haven't already.
Thank you. And yeah, and how are we doing that? What's the plan for that? So the plan is companies like myself in 3 other companies that have signed on to be the leads. And what we've done is every company that comes aboard to be a part of this project will automatically become a prime. So they just say you're a cleaning service. So that cleaning service will have a contract as a prime contractor. Why is it that it's so hard for a second tier to get an opportunity? Because they always feel that they're working behind another tier 1 or the prime contractor. So the way that we've designed this is that everything that you do, you will become a prime contractor, and then that will go into your statement of qualifications. So you can say, yes, I'm a painter. He goes, well, what did you do? I painted ABC and I was the prime. So I think that brings added value to helping elevate amongst the chamber, making sure that you have, as Anna shared, you know, having your insurances, your liability insurances, your workers' comp insurances. You know, we will make sure that when we vet you as a vetting committee, we're all business owners. So we understand what it takes for you to become successful. So we will be adding, hey, you know what, have you thought about this? Go here, go there. And we have a lot of partners that are looking for businesses like ours to bring them opportunities as well. So we really get good discounts, you know, from loans to insurances to, you know, anything you can imagine that it's going to take for you to become a successful provider. So are there no more questions on LISTO?
Let
Yes.
me just run through the questions real quickly. We have
Okay.
a question from Rick Duarte from Metropolitan Water District. How are you selecting the 300 vendors placed on LISTO? Is there a certain category or area that you're trying to concentrate on?
Sure. Okay. So some of the criterias that we're looking at is capability statements or past performance. You know, are you an expert in this space? Number 1. Number 2 would be financial. Are you financially sound to work for Metropolitan Water District that pays 30 days or 60 days, right? Are you insured? Do you have the proper insurance? Are you ISN certified? Are you have certifications to be in this space? And then the last training that we do is to make sure we teach the small business how to write a winning proposal. So it's like, I'm gonna install windows in your house. Well, that's not a proposal, you know. A proposal would say, I'm gonna come to your house, I'm gonna remove your windows, I'm going to do whatever I need to do, I'm gonna seal them, I'm gonna provide you with a vinyl window with dual energy savings, blah, 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 and seal them and call it a day. So that would be a lot of businesses that we are mentoring, you know, they don't understand how to make that proposal where people can understand it. Because they need to understand sometimes these contract administrators are really, all they are is administrating. They don't understand, or they're not reading plans or specifications. So it's your job to make sure that it's crystal clear. So those are the 4 of the criterias that we work on. And if they are in need of factoring money, we have groups that will factor to help them pay for payroll and supplies.
Mhm.
Did that answer the question?
A little bit. And then the other part of the question was, is there a certain category? So is there certain industries that the chamber is focusing on for LISTO?
Just looking for opportunities in the construction business, whether it is wet utilities, dry utilities, you know, vertical and horizontal work. I think that will all encompass, but again, because our membership is so widespread and we have members, you know, from, you know, vendors that are selling food, caterers, you know, we're looking for opportunities, you know, in all different types of
Adult
members.
industries, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, it's really open to everyone, like the chairman had mentioned, you know, our chamber members are in many industries, so it's really industry wide. And it, you know, the opportunities you get are those that are shared with us and those that are available through the chamber. So, the next question is, I'm asking for an invite code when I try to sign up. So, number 1, it kind of ties into the next one. In order to create an account in LISTO, one must be a member of the LALCC first, and the response is yes. So if you are a member, send an email to info@LALCC, and we will provide you with the code so you could start entering your information. Let me see, Luis Vega, make an accurate descriptions of qualifications and capability, a polished presentation. Luis, can you elaborate a little bit on your question? Luis Vega?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, it wasn't a question. It was basically what I assessed from what was said, that part of the vetting is having an accurate description of what you can do, because you have the credibility of the chamber and you don't want to recommend people that cannot meet the qualifications. So obviously how you present what you can do and who you're associated with will help you guys figure out whether you agree to display them.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
And you're right. So the vetting committee will see through, read between the lines. So what I do and the rest of the group, what we'll do, we'll call you. And we do what we call a capability review, where when I was working for the federal government, I'd have 7 or 8 engineers asking me questions like a firing squad. And they wanted to see how knowledgeable I was. And, you know, how would I, you know, everybody can talk about their capabilities. It depends on who's pitching the job. And they want to know how you're gonna, how, if you find yourself in a situation, how are you gonna get yourself out of a situation? That's basically what they're looking for. But you're right. So I always say, you know, be real. You know, tell me exactly what you do, and that way, you know, when we're able to place you and find you a customer that, you know, you do a good job. And again, we're looking for residual work. We're not looking for a one-shot deal. You know, we're hoping that, you know, you'll get a client. And, you know, we're working for big management companies right now. So we did a good job, and I got invited to 4 other opportunities. And what I like about it is that I don't have to bid for them. I'm negotiating the work now. This says, hey, look, this is our budget. This is what we got. Can you do it? Can you not do it? And it fits, because now, you know, I don't have to be one of 20 people, you know, providing a number. And you never know. It's like, I don't want to say Russian roulette, but I mean, it's like You never know if you're gonna get an opportunity. And what's the biggest frustrating thing in business? You have an estimator, he's out on the field all the time, bidding all this work, and then you get it, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Who can afford that? You know? And that's the way I looked at it. When we created LISTO, we want to give everybody an opportunity to get a chance to win a contract, but we all need to understand that your failure is the failure of the portal. So I protect it. I'm really, conscientious on when we're now becoming the clearinghouse to provide a referral or an opportunity that, if you mess it up, you're messing it up for all the others. So, let's just, be one big family. We want to be successful. And how do we do that? And we have work everywhere.
And I might add that we were at an event last night where they announced, the mayor's office representative, Eduardo, had mentioned there was a $2.6 billion approval for the old Staples Center. And they're seeking us to say, okay, so what can we do? So we're going to get later on a Zoom, because we want to open up to all the trades, all the opportunities. Daryl speaks from a construction, background. That's his world, but there's so much more we do. And he's right, there is RAMP, but people are seeking us out because we're so much more intentional about the kinds of businesses, and they know that these people are going to be, our companies and our businesses are going to be ready for the work, whether we bridge some, partnerships together, which would also work really well, right? But the projects are so big that even the city doesn't know how they're going to do this. And we don't need everything, we just want what we can take advantage of. And so, I can't imagine any of you on this call not wanting to be in this portal, because we're really being recognized as, okay, this is what they should have done for RAMP, actually. And not too late, we are actually a part of Get in the Game. And so we're all together. It's all encompassing of getting us all to work. But as Daryl mentioned, the B2B to beyond. So it's business to business and beyond, because this is not just for the portal. It's to set you up to be successful in your business life. That's what this is about. And so again, sometimes if it's no, not right now, it's because we're going to give you those resources and those opportunities to get to the level where you need to be to compete and be a great opportunity for people to select you when you are in the portal. We're not going to let you do this alone. We're in this thing together. It's game on together. That's what this is about.
And again, like Anna said, we all have to be successful as a family. So when I had that conversation with this gentleman from LA City, the first thing I asked him is, okay, so what is your business model? I mean, 2 billion sounds like it's an amazing number, right? I want to know, what are you setting aside? What are you going to negotiate? Are you debundling? I mean,
they don't know.
Again, I've been in so many procurement opportunities. I know all the language and how are they gonna create this program for businesses? We say small business, but in my industry, if you make it 38 million and under, you're still considered a small business. So I understand the negotiating, and I think that when we're sitting at the table as an organization and negotiating for everybody, I'm looking again, not for a procurement opportunity, I'm looking for a contract opportunity. And that's what I'm after. I'm after, show me what you got, and I will find the person that's going to do the work for you. And we as a chamber will make sure that we're successful as a group, in a nutshell.
Daryl, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I just want to make sure that I understand. So what you're saying is, let's say that there is an opportunity with the city, and you are going to be probably the face where, okay, this is a big contract. So you go and bid that contract, or you'll ask to have that contract and then look for the diverse providers or suppliers that will need to help you to be successful. That process will be, and how you will select the individuals or companies that will join you for that specific project.
So again, we will go through the vetting process with the 4 different criterias to show that, that you have the past performance, you're financially ready, you understand your customer, right? And you're insurable. And those are just the basics. There's other things that are involved in the vetting, and we'll go do the hunting for you.
You know, it's because we're gonna make sure, to the best of our ability that you're ready for those contracts, you know? And it's not to say they can't go in there and select you themselves, absolutely, because that's what we want to do at the end. It's as if we're all in school together, and then once, you know, you're able to achieve something, then you're gonna be on your own, making sure you take advantage of the resources and the support we give you as a chamber. So it's really twofold, Olivia. I think that's what we want to say, you know, but until we know for sure that we're going to be taken serious and this is something they're going to know that it's too easy for them to tell you no, but together is what I'm saying is we can have maybe a better, you know, open conversation as we did. The example we have is when we did, what was it, Super Bowl? And they asked us for 9 of our companies, and only 4 of them got them. And they thought that was going to be good enough. He said, well, can you at least share with us why it was no for the others? Because maybe we can help them out. And we did. And because of that, I think another 3 to 4 of them got contracts as well. But until they know that, many times, as Daryl said, we don't want it to become an imposter syndrome situation where, you know, we take AI and you look better than you are. Because at the end of the day, you have to deliver. And as Daryl, the chairman mentioned, you know, that's a sure win for a failure, you know. But we're going to make sure that you have checks and balances and you have what you need. And I can't believe anybody in the portal has exactly everything they need. We really do need each other. We need to level up the resources. So yeah, this is a great beginning point, though. And there are contracts that the chairman and the committee have given out already.
I think it's great as a concept. I think it's very good.
Uh-huh.
And probably we need to have a checklist where, as you said, Anna, you are right. It's not just putting an AI and try to sell my company at the best. No, you need to deliver. So we want to make sure probably that we comply with all the requirements, and make sure that we are ready for that as well. And I hope kind of part of this transition, the Chamber of Commerce can help us with that list. What is all the requirement that we have to comply in order to have the ability even to be in the list? Do I have everything that is needed? If not, what is the process to get there?
You know, you're absolutely right. And the great thing about this is the timing couldn't be better. You know, the chairman himself has been through many contracts, whether it's governmental, he's working with the different entities, you know, whether it's state and the municipalities within our local cities. And so they all ask for things differently. And so again, you know, that expert opinion, if not Daryl's or the chairman's, he will seek it out, because Ina, she's on the call. Sonia Molina, we have 2 board members on this call. They're in this. They are really in this with us. They want you all to be successful as they are. So again, you know, it's a process, Olivia, and it's, you know, the great thing is I really think we're going to hear more yeses than we will nos, because our nos are going to be turned into yeses because we're that good. We really are. And we're actually being really supportive of some of the business who think they're ready to be, you know, vetted and put into the system. And we're like, let's hold on. We need you to be successful, and this is what you'll do. And so again, you know, it's really time phasing what we have here. I don't want to take any more time, but I want you to understand, maybe we should have a conversation, you know, after this, because I
will
think,
love it.
yes.
I believe in the Latino Chamber of Commerce, and that's why I'm a member. I believe.
Thank you. Oh, that's wonderful.
I believe in you.
Thank you, Olivia.
We also advocated on behalf of another member for Metro that was being dismissed or being let go as a tier 2. And we ended up saving her contract, and she moved along. I mean, that's what the chamber does. The chamber has friends everywhere that we could call to see at least how we could answer, or how be a resource to our businesses. So, and again, you know what, you know, a lot of the other members that just, you know, pay the fee and don't get involved in it. I mean, this is what they're missing. They're missing the behind the scenes, where this is where the work gets done. So, and I know we're at 12:59. Are there any other questions, or did you want to explain, Olivia, the get in the game in Ganas?
Yeah, we can. So each of these sessions are an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh,
And the reason for doing that is that sometimes we go over an hour and when people are planning their segment for the day, they've allocated an hour and 15 minutes, even though, the program could be shorter, but at least they're able to stay the duration of the program. So I can go into Ganas, but there was one more question from Orly. Wants to see examples of opportunities to understand if this is a good portal for us. And I know, Carlos, can you show just like one? Mr. Chairman, I can't remember, and I must have missed the meeting that you had on LISTO like a week or so ago. So after we've given a contract or that contract's been fulfilled by some of the folks on LISTO, are they taken off or not? I'm sorry, I'm asking this question now. I can't.
Carlos, do you have those opportunities that were listed still?
Yes, I do. Let me go ahead and share my screen here.
Yeah, so people could
Get
see
these
that it's
operated.
actually on there.
But these are some of the projects that we're currently working on and have letters of intent. Lime Street Park, we're building baseball fields, 4 of them. It went from 2 to 4. So we're finishing up our first field tomorrow. And we've already done all the lighting and we are painting all the backstops and all the chain link fencing. And now the next phase is going to be art walks. We're going to be doing outdoor fitness centers. We're going to be doing pickleball courts and a maintenance facility center.
Is there somewhere, or can we add to the portal where they can jump on and in waiting, they could say that they're interested in, as Olivia said, maybe in the production of some type of product, or, they provide a different service. There's a lot of people right now that are jumping into the nonprofit, consultation world, or even writing the proposal grants. But it would be great for us to make sure that we have a pulse on what people are looking for that are in here, in addition to construction.
So I think that the last slide that Carlos showed, where one of the members was looking to hire, under the business to business, I think that would probably be the way you could say, hey, you know what, I'm looking for ABC services. I'm looking to see how I can help small business, or maybe I could take advantage of opportunities. So yes, you could list them on there. Carlos, does that need to be sent to info@LISTO, or how do you put that in there? Or once they're on LISTO, are they able to post what they offer so that we could take a look at it? And I think
Yes, that's correct. So
Right.
once they jump on the portal, they'll go to that particular section of contracting opportunities, and that's where members that are already on the portal can post their opportunities.
Right. And I think that, what, as we are talking to people, throughout Southern California, if you're a vetted company and a part of LISTO, we'll be looking for opportunities for your company. We'll now know, hey, you know what, we need to start looking for catering opportunities, or porta potty opportunities, or temp fencing opportunities, or cleaning opportunity, whatever our membership needs are. We want to be a full service organization to meet the needs of our membership.
So thank you, everyone. I know we have a couple minutes, and I do want to dive into what Get in the Game is, and I'll be needing both the support of Anna and Dara on this, because they are very instrumental in getting what we need to do. So Get in the Game. So Get in the Game, the Los Angeles Latino Chamber of Commerce is one of 20 entities or organizations in Los Angeles who were selected to disseminate information about the world games that are coming up in Los Angeles through like 2028, 2029, which includes FIFA, World Cup, Super Bowl, and the Olympics and Paralympics. So with that in the foresight, Next Street has selected a lot of these entities because we could really reach out and tap into different areas. And so when you have the power of 20 organizations, we're able to reach cast a farther net to reach some of the members or businesses that could be aligned with the programs coming up. So what Get in the Game does is it recognizes and connects diverse and local businesses to real contract opportunities, expert advice, and the tools that you need for the upcoming events. So together with more than 20 other regional business organizations, they're offering no-cost resources to get in the games and the Game LA Supplier Resource Hub. So once you create a free account, you can access to one-on-one advising on various topics, on-demand training, cohort-based procurement readiness programs, and connections to buyers and upcoming events. So it is a portal that you sign up on. The information's free. And the whole purpose is to help find businesses the custom supports they need to be contract ready. And why it matters is because LA is preparing to host all these major events, and we want to make sure that we're not left out of the conversation or the opportunities for our communities. The platform does provide expert business advising, cohort training, partner programs, as well as mentorship. So the goal is to open all of LA's small business stores for one contract at a time by providing them and preparing them to succeed. So as part of the initiative, every organization has a mentor, and representing the LA Latino Chamber as mentors is Anna and Daryl here from our board. So Anna, you want to share a little bit about what you do on those mentor sessions?
It's exactly what we're doing here. And so it's kind of like aligning and taking what we're already doing and putting it in their Get in the Game. It's next step. And so they just want to have a pulse of what is going on. And I have to say, I'm very proud of our team. We're small, but we're intentional and we're doing the right thing. It's a lot of work. Are we doing enough? No, we still got to do so much more. But I think every time we get on these calls, you're going to see there is progress being made. And I'll have to tell you, it's not so much what's in the portal. It's that once we reach out to these people who are holding on to these contracts, they're not yet aware of how they're going to execute them. We're going in depth with these conversations, and we're like, let us know what we can take advantage of now. I know you saw a lot of the opportunities the chairman has around, but don't think we're not focusing at hand what is happening in LA. Olivia and I are at as many places as we could be, always having this dialogue, them knowing our priority is exactly this. We take LISTO everywhere we go, because it's not only putting our businesses in there, but it's bringing those who have the opportunity to give us the contracts in LISTO too, so that we can have a match and we have a place that we can go. So again, we are advisors. It's the same thing that Daryl and I are doing. I have about 9 businesses that I'm doing right now, and Daryl. So they just want us to take what we're doing here and putting it into the Get in the Game. Do they have other resources? They do. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be a part of it. I'd love to be able to get Carlos to link you up into going into that portal so that you can just say you're part of ours and they measure it. If we gotten anything, let's make sure that we not only connect, but we identify how we best help you once you're not only going through the vetting process, but then you are vetted and you're in there. Help us help you by identifying what is it that we need to look for? What can we do to help you be more successful and get one of those contracts?
Yeah, so we invite you to participate and Get in the Game. And the link on there is Get in the Game LA, like Los Angeles, getinthegamela.com. And you can sign up for a free, to subscribe or to be a member at no cost. They will ask you where you heard the information from, and you can select a Los Angeles Latino Chamber of Commerce. It does no good to be recognized for Chamber of the Year, on a national and a state level if we're not doing our work. So, we take pride in everything that we do, and, we're always available either by email, by phone. We meet each other or run into each other at a lot of the events that are out in the community. But, the spirit to keep this chamber alive is really great through your help.
The reason for me to get on this call or this webinar is we're recruiting businesses. So I'm constantly, everywhere I go, looking to identify businesses. I'm really looking for top-notch companies to help elevate the organization, so that people are going to say, you know what, that's where I want to go. I want to call the chamber because they have great businesses that are gonna meet the needs or exceed the needs that I have. So
Mhm.
that's basically what I'm looking for. So we're gonna talk about Ganas. We're ready past 6 minutes.
Yeah, 6 minutes. So, so Ganas is, as I shared earlier, is growing America's negocios through access and scalability. And, through the partnership with USHCC, this has been immense. One of the things that we always want to do is be able to support our community, not only through education and resources, but offer a grant. Chamber does believe in the work that you do. And sometimes all we need is that little financial nudge that will take us over the edge in order to be scalable once again.
We are the only ones nationally. And for a chamber to have that type of contracting opportunity through our business to business, it's like unheard of. People don't believe it. That's the good thing about LISTO, is that it opens up doors that were not open for you. Everybody's fishing in the same pond. We all want to go to the county. We all want to go to Metro. We all want to go school district. We all want to go to the same place that everybody else is. I want to create an opportunity where we go to special districts. We're not looking for the place where everybody but the small business wins. So LISTO is something I'm very passionate about. And if anybody wants to have a conversation about it, I'm here. That's it for me.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for being with us. We know you could be in another space, but we know that the chamber's here to support you and your business. Thank you, everyone, for being with us, and have a lovely Thursday afternoon.
Bye, Olivia.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Great information. Thank you.